Okay, students, on the last lecture we have discussed about the first law of thermodynamics and Joule's law. Now today we will discuss some problem related to the first law of thermodynamics. And apart from the problems related to the first law of thermodynamics, we will also discuss the adiabatic process, what actually the adiabatic process is and how the relation PV raised to the power gamma comes for the adiabatic process. So now first we will start with adiabatic process. Adiabatic process. So what is the adiabatic process? Adiabatic process, suppose there is a chamber, a closed chamber is there, and it is well insulated, not insulated, it is basically in such a way that heat transfer does not take place. So dq is equal to 0. So according to the first law of thermodynamics, dq is nothing but it is equal to dw plus du. Basically it is something like this, delta w plus du, because this is your property and this is your path function. So dq is equal to dw plus du, but for adiabatic process this dq value is equal to 0. And what about du? Du is nothing but it is the change in internal energy. Sorry. So change in internal energy, what is the value of change in internal energy? This is mCv dt, where Cv is the specific heat. This Cv is nothing but it is specific heat at constant volume. And what about the work done? This work done is nothing but is the piston cylinder arrangement is there. So this work done is equal to PdV, where P is the pressure and dV is the change in volume. So PdV plus mCv dt, this becomes 0 in case of the adiabatic process. From the ideal gas equation, for ideal gas equation, we know that PV is equal to nRU T. This is the ideal gas equation where P is the pressure, V is the volume, N is the total number of moles, Ru is the universal gas constant and its value is 8.314. This value is nothing but it is 8.314 kilojoule per kilomole Kelvin, and T is the temperature in Kelvin. So this can be written as PV is equal to M divided by capital N RUT, where this M is the mass of the gas and capital M is nothing but it is the molecular weight of the gas, and this can be written as PV is equal to M RT, where this R is gas constant, and its value changes for different gases. Okay, so PV is equal to mRT. So from here we can get the value of P as mRT divided by V. Therefore, from the equation PdV plus mCv dt, this becomes 0. What is the value of P? It is mRT upon V dV plus mCv dt, this becomes 0. So if we divide by m, so this is R dV upon V plus Cv dt upon T is equal to 0. Now this is our equation. Now I kept this equation here and numbering this equation as 1. As we have already studied that for an isobaric process, Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Okay, and Cp over Cv, this value is nothing but it is equal to gamma. So Cp can be written as gamma times of Cv. Therefore, thus gamma Cv minus Cv is equal to R. So Cv comes to be R upon gamma minus 1 and Cp comes out to be gamma R upon gamma minus 1, where this gamma is nothing but it is known as the ratio of specific heats. Gamma is nothing but it is the ratio of specific heat, and its value is, I have already discussed, 1.67 for monoatomic, 1.44 for diatomic, and 1.33 for polyatomic gases. Now put the value of Cv in equation number 1. Cv equal to R upon gamma minus 1. So what is the equation number 1? Equation number 1 is R dV upon V plus Cv dt upon T. R dV upon V plus Cv dt upon T is equal to 0. This is our equation number 1. Now putting the value of Cv. So R dV over V plus Cv is R upon gamma minus 1 dt upon T. This comes to be 0, or gamma minus 1 dV upon V plus dt upon T is equal to 0. So this shows that if we integrate this equation, then gamma minus 1 ln V plus ln T is equal to some constant, let it be constant, and we represent this as ln C. Then T V की power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. This is the relation for an adiabatic process. This is the relation between temperature and volume. So if we eliminate this temperature with respect to pressure, as we know that for an ideal gas, PV is equal to RT for per unit mass. So temperature can be written as PV by R, or temperature can be eliminated as PV because R is a constant. So Tv की power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. In place of temperature, if we write PV into V की power gamma minus 1 PV by R is equal to constant, and since R is constant, a gas constant, so this becomes PV की power gamma is equal to constant. So this is the relation between the pressure and volume for an adiabatic process. So, and again in Tv raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, eliminate volume in terms of pressure and temperature. So how? PV is equal to RT. Since PV is equal to RT, so this gives you volume is equal to RT upon P. Now put the value of volume in the given equation. So this becomes T. V, in place of V we are writing RT upon P raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. So T into RT upon P raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. This shows that T की power gamma upon P की power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, और T2 upon T1 की power gamma is equal to P2 upon P1 की power gamma minus 1. So this is basically the relation between the temperature and pressure for an adiabatic process. For an adiabatic process, and this is very important relation for an adiabatic process, that T2 upon T1 raised to the power gamma is equal to P2 upon P1 to the power gamma minus 1, or sometimes we deal it as P2 upon P1 the power gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to T2 upon T1. So this relation is also an important relation for an adiabatic process. So we generally use this relation in so many places in thermodynamics. So we have to remember this relation, and for adiabatic process we have to remember that TV की power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, and this is the well known relation for an adiabatic process, that PV raised to the power gamma is equal to constant. Similarly, for polytropic process, now if we are discussing polytropic process. Polytropic process. What is there in polytropic process? Polytropic process is nothing but it is PV raised to the power n is equal to constant, where P is the pressure, V is the volume. Well known that n is known as polytropic index. N is known as polytropic index. Okay, so dq, according to first law of thermodynamics, according to first law of thermodynamics, I am writing TD just like as a thermodynamics, delta Q is equal to del W plus dU. Okay, so what is the value of del W in a polytropic process? It is nothing but P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon n minus 1. What is P1 V1 and P2 V2? I am assuming that we are moving from state 1 to state 2. We are moving from state 1 to state 2 in a polytropic process. This is our state number 1 and this is our state number 2. So we are moving from state 1 to state 2. So at state 1 the pressure is P1 and at state 2 the pressure is P2, while their respective volumes are V1 and V2. Okay, and their temperatures are, here the temperature is T1 and at this point the temperature is T2. So what is the value of du? Du is nothing but it is Cv dt. I am taking for per unit mass. So Cv, and what is dt? Dt is nothing but it is T2 minus T1, that is the temperature change. Now how to write PV? PV is equal to nothing but, if you are taking for per unit mass, that it is RT1. So R upon n minus 1 into T1 minus T2 plus, what is the value of Cv? Cv is nothing but it is R upon gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1. So that is C polytropic into dt, that is T2 minus T1 is equal to, if we write it is T2 minus T1, that is minus R upon n minus 1 T2 minus T1 plus R upon gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1. since T1 and T2 are not equal to each other, so C polytropic. What is C polytropic? C polytropic is nothing but it is the specific heat for polytropic process. So this becomes R times 1 upon gamma minus 1 minus 1 upon n minus 1. So C polytropic, that is the specific heat for polytropic process, is equal to R upon n minus 1 into gamma minus 1. If we take the value of n minus 1 into gamma minus 1, so it is n minus 1 minus gamma minus 1. So this is n minus 1 minus gamma minus 1. So this value becomes R times n minus gamma upon n minus 1 into gamma minus 1. This is C polytropic. So polytropic specific heat value will always equal to R times n minus gamma upon n minus 1 gamma minus 1. And the value of n always lies between 1 to gamma if n lies between 1 to gamma. So n minus 1 will be a positive quantity, gamma minus 1 will be positive, but n minus gamma from here, if you see, then it is a negative quantity. So this represents that C polytropic is a negative quantity. So what does it mean? What is the meaning of C polytropic is a negative quantity? This means when heat is applied to the system, then the temperature still decreases because the temperature still decreases because the work done is more as compared to supplied heat. And so as compared to supplied heat, the work done is more, so all the heat which is given to the system is basically consumed, and since it is being consumed, then the temperature decreases, and since temperature decreases, C polytropic cannot be negative, so T2 minus T1 will be negative, so C polytropic into this one, so C polytropic will be a positive quantity because T2 minus T1 will be in the negative quantity. So because of this reason, its reason is that when the value of n lying between 1 to gamma, then work done is more as compared to the heat supplied, and in that case C polytropic will be a negative quantity. Okay, so this is a little bit about adiabatic process and polytropic process. Now we will move to some problems which will be based on first law of thermodynamics. So now we are going to discuss the problems of first law of thermodynamics. So this is my first problem. Yesterday we have already discussed one problem which is related to the first law of thermodynamics. Now today we are going to solve some more problems. These are the problems are very interesting. These problems have been asked in engineering services examination as well as the GATE examination. So please be concentrate on the problems and see how to solve such type of the problems. They are not very tricky problems, but you have to be patient and you have a very clear cut idea ki how to apply the first law of thermodynamics for different processes so that to solve the particular problem. So now see, the first problem says that a stationary mass of a gas is compressed without friction. So gas is being compressed. Okay, so gas is compressed. The important thing is gas is compressed without friction from an initial state of 0.3 megapascal, a state is given that is 0.3 meter cube and 0.105 megapascal, means at initial state the volume and pressure of the gas has been given and it has been compressed to a final state of 0.15 meter cube. 0.15 meter cube means the volume has been reduced to half of its initial value and the pressure is 0.105 megapascal and initial pressure was 0.105 megapascal and final pressure is again 1.105 megapascal, means the pressure remaining constant during the entire process, which have already been given in the question, that the pressure remaining constant during this process. Okay, the pressure has been constant and the volume has been compressed from 0.3 meter cube to 0.15 meter cube. There is a transfer of 37.6 kilojoule of heat from the gas during the process, means this much amount of the heat has been removed because it has been transferred from the gas. From the gas means suppose this is your system, so from the gas matlab this much amount of the heat has been transferred, and since the gas has been compressed means the work has been done. So it is something like this, the figure is something like this. How much does the internal energy of the gas changes? So we have to find out how much internal energy of the gas has been changed. Okay. First problem, suppose this is our system and it has been compressed. Since it has been compressed means work has been done and heat has been removed from the system. Initial state was given as 0.105 megapascal and initial volume is 0.15 meter cube. While pressure remains constant, means we are compressing in such a way that the pressure remains constant and the final volume comes to be 0.15 meter cubes. The initial volume is it is 0.3 meter cube. Initially the volume is 0.3 meter cube and it has been compressed to 0.15 meter cube. The pressure remains constant. So if we draw the PV diagram, so the PV diagram is something like this. This is our first state and this is our second state. It has been compressed from V1 to V2. So how much is the work? Work is nothing but it is the area of this diagram. So total work done. So total work done, W is nothing but it is equal to P delta V. What is P? 0.105 into 10 raised to the power 6 into delta V is V2 minus V1. So 0.15 minus 0.3. So this is 0.105 into 0.15 with a minus sign into 10 raised to the power 6 joule. So this is 0.105 into 0.15 minus sign into 10 raised to the power 6 joule, or it is 15.75 kilojoule. This much amount of the work has been done on the system. This negative sign shows that this much amount of the work has been done on the system. And how much heat has been transferred? How? 37.6 kilojoule. This much amount of the heat has been transferred. So as the first law of thermodynamics, So E in minus E out is equal to delta E system. What is the input? Input is nothing but it is work. What is the output? It is the heat. And what is delta E system? That is the change in internal energy, neglecting the kinetic and potential energy. So how much is the work? What is the work? Work is nothing but it is 15.75. 15.75 minus how much amount of the heat has been transferred? 37.6. This is equal to delta U. So change in internal energy comes to be minus 37.6 minus 15.75. So this comes out to be 5 8 1 2 minus 21.85 kilojoule. So change in internal energy of the system is minus 21.85 kilojoule. So this much amount of the internal energy has been changed. So he was asking how much does the internal energy of the gas changes. So you have to always remember, if we will always use this formula. What is the energy transferred inside and what is energy transferred from outside, and this is equal to delta E system. So there is no chance of any mistake. Now come to the second problem. What is the second problem? In a cyclic process, heat transfers are 14.7 kilojoule. So you have been given a cyclic process. Okay, so first we know that it is a cyclic process. So heat transfers are, let heat transfers are Q1 is 14.7 kilojoule, Q2 minus 25.2 kilojoule, Q3 minus 3.56 kilojoule, and Q4 is 31.5 kilojoule. So these are the values of the heat which has been transferred. What is the net work for this cyclic process? Okay, so as per Joule's law, what Joule's law says, for any cyclic process, summation Q is equal to summation W. So net work transfer net is nothing but it is Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4. So if we add all these, that is 14.7 minus 25.2 minus 3.56 plus 31.5. So this comes out to be 752 28 4 plus 1 5 plus 1 6 3 and 1 4 46.2 minus 25.2 and 3.56 76 28.76. This will give you 4 1 11 4. Now it is 5 15 8 7. This is 3 minus 2, that is 1. 17.44 kilojoule. So how much is the net work transfer? So net work transfer for this cyclic process is 17.44 kilojoule. 17.44, just check it. You just check it whether it is 17.44 or 17.34. तो एक चार एक पाँच एक छः तीन एक चार 46.2 and this is 5 6 28.76 20. So this is 10 minus 6, that is 4. This becomes 11 minus 7, that is 4. So it should be 17.44 kilojoule. Okay. Now come to the next problem. A slow chemical reaction takes place in a fluid at a constant pressure of 0.1 megapascal. Chemical reaction takes place in a fluid at a constant pressure. The pressure is constant and its value is 0.1 megapascal. The fluid is surrounded by a perfect heat insulator during the reaction, which begins at state 1 and ends at state 2. Okay. The insulation is then removed and 105 kilojoule of heat flow to the surrounding as the fluid goes on to state number 3. The following data are observed for the fluid at state 1, 2 and 3. The volume and temperature at the different states have been given. For the fluid system, calculate E2 and E3 if E1 is equal to 0. Okay. So chemical reaction takes place the fluid at a constant pressure of 0.1 megapascal. So pressure remains always constant. The fluid is surrounded by a perfect heat insulator during the reaction, which begins at state 1 and ends at state 2. The insulation is then removed and 105 kilojoule of heat flow to the surrounding as the fluid goes to the state 3. Pressure is given, volume we know, and from state 1 to state 2, so we can calculate the net change in volume, and it has been insulated, so net amount of heat is 0. So whatever be the amount of work done, that is the change in internal energy, and this change in internal energy is nothing but it is E2 minus E1. So work done we can calculate by PdV, pressure is given, and this is the change in volume. Okay, so this is the basically brief of this question. So now just go and check how to solve it. Question number 3. From state 1 to state 2, constant pressure process. Constant pressure process. What is the volume at state 1 and what is the volume at state 2? Constant pressure process and value of pressure is 0.1 megapascal. What is the value of volume? Sorry. What is V1? 0.003 and 0.3. 0.003 meter cube and final volume is 0.3 meter cube. So change in volume delta V, that comes out to be 0.027 meter cube. Point 3 minus 0.003. Sorry, we just write it 0.3 minus 0.003. 0.300 minus 0.003. This is 7, 9, 0.297 meter cube. This is the net change in volume, and pressure is 0.1 megapascal. Again 0.1 megapascal. So how much is the work done? So work done, del W is equal to P delta V. Since the volume has been changed and it has been increased, so it is an expansion, so net work done is 0.1 into 10 raised to the power 5, sorry, megapascal to 10 raised to the power 6 multiplied by 0.297, this much joule. So what is the work done? Point 0.0297 into 10 raised to the power 6 joule. So this comes out to be 29.7 kilojoule. And we have been given that the fluid is surrounded by a perfect heat insulator. So what does it mean? Since the fluid is surrounded by a perfect heat insulator, so fluid is surrounded by perfect heat insulator, means heat transfer is zero, means there is no heat transfer takes place. Okay, so according to first law of thermodynamics, E in minus E out is equal to delta E. So for process 1 to 2, E in, so input there is no heat transfer takes place, so it is 0, minus at E output it is total work done we will get, and what is the change in internal energy, that is E2 minus E1. So E2 minus E1 is equal to minus W, and it has been given that E1 is equal to 0, given that at state 1 the change in total internal energy of the system is 0. So what is E2? E2 is nothing but it is minus W, that is minus 29.7 kilojoule. So what is the amount of energy at state 2? So amount of energy at state 2 is minus 29.7 kilojoule. Sorry, minus 29.7 kilojoule. Now from state 2 to 3, the insulation is then removed. Now the insulation has been removed. So we are now moving from state 2 to state 3. Insulation has been removed and 105 kilojoule of heat flow to the surroundings. Means this much amount of the heat flow to the surrounding. It means from system to surrounding, that it is heat coming out to the system as the fluid goes to state number 3. Okay, the following data were observed: the fluid from state 1 to 3, and then the volume is from 0.3 to 0.06 meter cube. Pressure is also remains constant. So from state 2 to 3, it has been given that heat is coming, that is EQ, which is coming out, and its value is 105 kilojoule. 105 kilojoule. And what is the volume at state 2? We know it is 0.3 meter cube. And what is the volume at state 3? It is 0.06 meter cube. So it's a compression. So this is your compression. So how much work is done? So work done, W is equal to P delta V. So P is nothing but it is 0.1 into 10 raised to the power 6. What is delta V? 0.06 minus 0.3. So W becomes minus, what is this value? 0.24. 0.1 into 0.24, 0.024 into 10 raised to the power 6, that is minus 24 kilojoule. So this much is the work done. Minus 24 kilojoule is the total work done which has been. So work done is minus 0.24 kilojoule. So from 2 to 3, since the volume has been decreased, so it is the work has been done onto the system, means energy input is nothing but it is your work. This is 24 kilojoule, and how much heat is coming out from the system? That is heat that is going to the surrounding. So how much heat is going to the surrounding? 105 kilojoule. Okay, so heat going to the surrounding is 105 kilojoule. So as per the law, E in minus E out is equal to delta E, that is E3 minus E2. What is E input? Input is 24 kilojoule of heat. 24 minus how much heat is coming out, that is 105, is equal to E3 minus what is the value of E2? Minus 29.7, I think so. E2 is minus 29.7. So what is E3? E3 is 24 minus 105 minus 29.7. So this is, once you calculate it, minus 110.7. Once you calculate it, it is minus 110.7 kilojoule. So this much amount of the heat is basically, this much amount of the internal energy of the system at state 3. So this is the process by which we have calculated how much amount of the heat has been transferred and what is the work transfer, how much is the energy transferred. So according to the first law, we applied the energy transfer formula, and always I am again telling you that always use this formula. E in minus E out is equal to delta E system, and you have to check it which is the energy which is coming inside and what is the energy which is coming outside the system. Now come to the next problem, problem number 4. 1.5 kilogram of liquid having a constant specific heat of 2.5 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin is stirred in a well insulated chamber, causing the temperature rise by 15 degrees centigrade. This is the rise in temperature. Find delta E and W for the process. Okay, well insulated chamber is there. So it is an insulated chamber. What does it mean? Since it is a well insulated chamber, it means heat transfer is equal to 0. Question number 4. for insulated chamber, heat transfer Q is equal to 0, and it is given that 1.5 kg of liquid having a constant specific heat is stirred in a well insulated chamber. Since it is in a well insulated chamber, so volume of the chamber remains constant. So this is nothing but it's a specific heat at constant volume. So internal energy, change in internal energy, change in internal energy, delta U becomes mCV delta T. That's why delta U is equal to m. What is the mass? 1.5 kg. Specific heat is 2.5 and temperature rise by 15. 1.5 kg mass, 2.5 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin, and 15 degree centigrade or 15 degree is the temperature rise. So this much amount of kilojoule, since there is a temperature rise, so internal energy will increase. So this much amount of internal energy has been changed. 15, 620, so 225 into 2.5. This is 22.5 into 2.5, 5, 12, 2, 6, 56.25 kilojoule. So 56.25 kilojoule is the net change in internal energy. 56.25 kilojoule is the change in internal energy. And what is the work done? So from the first law, Q बराबर W plus delta U. Since Q is equal to 0, so W plus what is the value of delta U is 56.25. So how much is the work done? Minus 56.25 kilojoule. This negative sign shows that work has been done on the system. What does this negative sign mean? Work is done on the system. This negative sign. Okay, so this is the question number 4. Now come to the next problem, question number 5. What question number 5 says? A system composed of 2 kg of the fluid expands in a frictionless piston and a cylinder machine from an initial state of 1 megapascal 100 degree centigrade to a final temperature of 30 degree centigrade. If there is no heat transfer, find the net work for the purposes. From a frictionless piston cylinder machine from an initial state of 1 megapascal 100 degree centigrade to a final temperature of 30 degree centigrade. Okay, there is no heat transfer. Find the work transfer. Temperature is given. Now the pressure is given. No heat transfer is there. Okay. Take gamma is equal to 1.4. Since no heat transfer takes place, no heat transfer takes place, no heat transfer takes place. So it is considered as an adiabatic process. Okay, so it will be considered as an adiabatic process. So what will we do? In an adiabatic process, how much is the work done? P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon gamma minus 1. But here we know initial pressure, initial temperature and final temperature. So we have to first of all find the final pressure in terms of temperature. So for adiabatic process, P2 upon P1 की power gamma minus 1 upon gamma is equal to T2 upon T1. Using this, we will get P2, that is final pressure, because what is P1? P1 is given as 1 megapascal, T1 is 100 and T2 is 30. P1 is 1 megapascal, T1 is 100 degrees centigrade, that is 373 Kelvin, and T2 is 30 degrees centigrade, that is 303 Kelvin. So by this, and take gamma is equal to, I am taking gamma as 1.4. So P2 is equal to P1 into T2 upon T1, that is 303 upon 373 raised to the power gamma upon gamma minus 1. So we will get the value of P2. Okay. Now work done, W is equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon N minus 1, that is MR upon, it is gamma minus 1 upon gamma minus 1 into T2 minus T1. Now put the value and we will get the value of work done. Okay, and we take of above fluid, just to forget what actually the fluid is, so we take it as an air, and for air take R is equal to 29. So it is not necessary that we will get the exact answer 100.52, because I am just taking air, I am considering it as an air. For R is equal to 29. So put the value of R over air and you will get the answer. So whatever be the answer, you just use that answer. Okay. Okay. The resistor is wired to an external 12 volt battery. when a current of 1.5 amperes is passed through resistors for 90 seconds. So it has been given that a current of 1.5 ampere is passing through the resistance which which is connected with an external volt battery with 12 volt battery and passes for 90 seconds. So how much heat is generated due to this current flowing through the resistor? First we'll calculate this thing. Question number 6. Heat passes through resistor is equal to I into V into T. T is the time, for how much time the current is flowing through the resistors. So the value of current is given as 1.5 ampere and the battery voltage is 12 volt and it passes for 90 seconds. So 1.5 ampere for 12 volt and it passes through 90 seconds. So this much amount of the joule is heat is being transferred. So if we calculate this thing, (18 multiplied by 90), so this comes to be 1620 joule. Let I represent it as Q. So how much amount of the heat is being passes through this one? Basically this heat is basically passes as a form of electrical work. So this is as a form of electrical work, which is converted into heat. So this question I have selected just because you find it how the electrical work has to be calculated. This is I into V and that electrical work is converted into the heat. So how much amount of the heat transferred through the resistor? Suppose this is your resistor and current is flowing through this resistor as I, and this is connected with an external volt battery. So this battery is of 12 volt and this current which passes is 1.5 ampere and this is for 90 seconds. So how much heat is generated in this resistor is this much. Okay, now it says due to the current flowing through the resistor, the piston sweeps a volume of 0.01 meter cube. Now it is just like as a piston cylinder arrangement is over here. This is piston cylinder arrangement is there and this is our piston and this type of combination is inside here. Okay, it is something like this. When the heat is generated, then this piston moves, and what is the volume which the piston sweeps? The volume of piston sweep this is equal to, how much is it? It is 0.01 meter cube, while the pressure remains constant as 1.2 bar, that is 0.01 meter cube, keeping pressure constant, and the value of this pressure is 1.2 bar. Okay, so at constant pressure the piston is moving, so definitely the work is being done by the gas. So how much amount of the work is done? The work done by the gas is equal to, let it be W, so this is equal to P delta V, where P is the pressure which is constant, that is 1.2 bar into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square into 0.01 meter cube. So this much amount of the joule work has been done. So if we calculate this comes out to be 1200 joule. So this much amount of the work is basically done. Okay. It has been assumed that the piston and cylinders are insulated and air behaves as an ideal gas. Now the piston and cylinder are insulated. So what does it mean? So when the piston cylinder, suppose this is our piston cylinder arrangement and this is well insulated, it is well insulated. So how much heat transferred through this one? This will be zero due to insulation. Due to insulation. But within the system basically heat is generated. So how much work has been done? That is the 1200 joule. But how much heat is liberated? So heat liberated is 1620 joule. Okay. So change in internal energy, delta U, this is nothing but heat liberated, that is 1620 joule. This much amount of the heat has been liberated, and 1200 joule, this much amount has been consumed in work. So the rest of the amount of the heat which is being liberated, that will be used for the change in internal energy of our system. Okay, here E in is equal to 0 and E out is equal to 0. Only delta E system is there. And this delta E system will be 0, that is change in internal energy, means initial and final will be same. So change in internal energy can be calculated as total heat generated within the system minus the 1200 joule, means this part of the heat has been used as a work done, so rest will be used for the change in internal energy. This is very important concept. You have to remember, don't confuse that whatever with the amount of heat is generated, that is equal to this heat. This heat is something different, which is transferring heat, and here this heat is the energy liberated within the system. This is the work done within the system. Okay, so this entire is nothing but it is the total energy of the system, and change in total energy of the system will be 0 because heat transferring or energy transferring to this system is 0. So this is very good concept, and very good concept has been asked in the GATE exam. So by this we can say that it is 420 joule. And what about the internal energy? Internal energy is nothing but it is mCV delta T. How much mass? What is the mass? Mass is 0.1 kg. So 0.1 into CV is given as 700 joule per kilogram Kelvin, and delta T is due to this heat, obviously the temperature will rise. So this becomes 420. So delta T comes out to be 420 divided by 70. This comes to be 6 degrees centigrade. So how much rise in temperature is there? So temperature rises 6 degrees centigrade. So this is your answer. The temperature rises 6 degrees centigrade. So this is a very good question as in the GATE 1993. So make sure what basically has given and how to use the values according to your problem. Now the next problem is again, it's a good question, and this question was asked in GATE 2006. The question is that there is a football which was inflated to a gauge pressure of 1 bar. Now the gauge pressure is given. So the importance is here that you have to find out the absolute pressure while the gauge pressure is given. So how to calculate the absolute pressure? Absolute pressure is nothing but it is the gauge pressure plus atmospheric pressure. So first we will find out the absolute pressure. Seventh problem. So initial absolute pressure P1, that comes to be atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So what is the atmospheric pressure? So atmospheric pressure I am assuming 1.013 plus the gauge pressure is given as 1 bar. So this comes to be 2.013 bar. So this is the initial absolute pressure, and initial ambient temperature was given as 15 degrees centigrade. So initial temperature T1 is 15 degrees centigrade. So that comes to be 273 plus 15, that is 288 Kelvin. Okay, when the game started next day, okay, the air temperature at the stadium was 5 degrees centigrade. Now the final temperature becomes 5 degrees centigrade. So final temperature T2 is equal to 5 degrees centigrade. So this comes to be 273 plus 5, that is 278 Kelvin. Assume that the volume of the football remains constant at 2500 centimeter cube. So volume of gas 2500 centimeter cube, and so this can be written as 2500 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter cube. So this becomes V. This V is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter cube, this much, and this volume remains constant. Now, so this is the link. This was the linked problem. So the first question which is linked to this given information is the amount of heat lost by the air in the football and the gauge pressure of the air in the football at the stadium respectively. So we have to find out the gauge pressure as well as the whatever be the amount of heat which has been lost. Okay. So since the volume remains constant, so according to first law, according to gas equation, when volume is constant, when volume is equal to constant, then P is directly proportional to temperature. So we can use the relation P1 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon T2. So we will find the absolute pressure, final absolute pressure. So this comes to be P1 T2 upon T1. What is the value of P1? P1 is 2.013 into T2 is 278 divided by T1 is 288. Now, so final gauge pressure, so this value, let it be Pg2. So this is nothing but it is P absolute minus 1.013 bar, that is the atmospheric pressure. This much amount is the gauge pressure, and this pressure is P2 is nothing but it is 2.013 into 278 divided by 288 minus 1.013. So this is the final gauge pressure. Once you calculate it, so you will get the answer. So you just calculate this value, so you will get the answer ki what is the final gauge pressure. Now he is asking ki how much amount of the heat has been lost by the air. So how much amount of the heat lost, so how to calculate? So what is the change in temperature? The change in temperature is 15 degrees centigrade to 5 degrees centigrade. So obviously this heat, there is a heat loss, okay, and since the volume remains constant. So when the volume remains constant, then obviously the work done will be equal to 0. So change in internal energy will be equal to the change in total heat loss. So total heat loss is nothing but it is change in internal energy. So total heat loss is nothing but it is equal to change in internal energy. Because work transfer is 0. And why work transfer is 0? Because volume remains constant. Okay. And why it is the heat loss? Because the temperature is reduced. Okay. So let this heat loss I represent as Q. So this Q is nothing but it is equal to delta U, and this delta U is mCV delta T. Since it is an air and air is behaving just like as an ideal gas, so we take the value of Cv as equal to 800 approximately. So we are taking it Cv is equal to 800 joule per kilogram Kelvin. So we can calculate how much amount is the mass is given. Since the mass has not been given, then we can use the ideal gas equation. For mass it is P1 V1 upon R T1, where R is the gas constant. This multiplied by 800 into delta T is 5 minus 50. So obviously this becomes negative. This negative sign shows that it is a heat loss. Now put the values of P, V, R and T. What is the value of P? So P was nothing but it is 2.013 into 10 raised to the power 5. What was V? The volume we have calculated, and the value of the volume is nothing but it is 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So this is 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 into 800 into minus 10 divided by R. What is the value of the gas constant? So the value of gas constant is nothing but it comes to be around 0.287 kilojoule per kilogram or 287 joule per kilogram Kelvin for air. And temperature, so initial temperature was 288. Just remember this is the value of R for air. So this much amount of the heat, and once you calculate this value, so you will get Q becomes 43.7 joule. Obviously the minus sign will be there, minus 43.7 joule. This minus sign basically represent heat loss. This sign represent, this minus sign represent heat loss. So I think now it is clear. You just calculate this value. Okay. So what is the second problem related to this one? The gauge pressure of air to which the valve must have been originally inflated. Means we have to find out the original gauge pressure, so that it would be equal to 1 bar gauge at the stadium, so that the final gauge pressure becomes to be 1 bar. Okay. So for this problem, the final gauge pressure is given. Final gauge pressure Pg, let it be final, is 1 bar given. So what's the final absolute pressure? So what is final absolute pressure? That is P2. So this becomes 1.013, that is the atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So this comes to be 2.013 bar. Okay. So let initial pressure is, be T1. Then by using gas law, gas equation or gas law, that is P1 upon T1 comes to be P2 upon T2. I am sorry, let the initial pressure be, it should be P1. Sorry, I have written it's T1. So what is P1? P1 comes to be P2. What is P2? 2.013 into T1. T1 is nothing but it is 288 divided by T2. T2 is nothing but it is 278. So once you calculate this much amount of bar, so initial gauge pressure, and this initial gauge pressure is nothing but this is 2.013 into 288 upon 278 minus 1.013. This is the atmospheric pressure. Once you put, you will get the value 1.01 bar. So this much amount is the initial gauge pressure which has to be inflated before match start. 1.07. So you just calculate, this is just a calculation part. Once you put the values and get the answer. So this much is the gauge pressure. This was a good question again, but the second part is a very little bit problem. But in the first part, so the basic concept was that the volume remains constant, and since the volume is constant, then the work transfer is 0. So whatever be the amount of heat generated, that is being utilized for your internal energy of the gas. Okay, now come to the next problem. The next problem says, again it was asked in GATE 2011, and it is just related to the again and resistor and electrical work, as we have already discussed in 2003 problem. So the question was, the contents of a well insulated tank, again here the tank is well insulated, are heated by a resistor of 23 ohm in which 10 ampere current is flowing. Now through the resistor of 23 ohm a 10 ampere current is flowing. What does it mean? So how much heat is generated? So heat generated is I square R. So first we will calculate how much heat generated through resistor. This is the 8th problem. The figure is something like this. This is a resistor of 23 ohm and 10 ampere current is flowing. So heat generated through resistor is equal to I square R. What is I square is 100 and what is R is 23. So this becomes 2.3 into 10 raised to the power 3 this much of watt, or 2.3 kilowatt. Okay, consider the tank along with its contents as a thermodynamic system. Okay, the work done by the system and heat transfer to the system are positive. We have to find the rate of heat, work and change in internal energy during the process in kilowatt. Since it is a well insulated tank, so when the tank is well insulated, then heat transfer through the system is equal to 0. So if we are taking this heat transfer as Q, so Q becomes 0. So the first is that Q becomes 0, there is no heat transfer. And since current is flowing through the resistor, then obviously heat is generated. So this heat generated is nothing but it is being utilized to change the internal energy. So increase in internal energy, increase in internal energy of system is nothing but this is equal to 2.3 kilowatt. Okay, as per first law, since Q is equal to 0, so delta U becomes minus W. So work done is nothing but it is equal to minus delta U, and this becomes minus 2.3 kilowatt. So how much of the work has been done? So that is minus 2.3 kilowatt. This much amount of the work has been done. So total work done is minus 2.3 kilowatt, while the total change in internal energy system is 2.3 kilowatt. So this is again a very good question, a very basic fundamental question. So you just keep watching on this fundamental parts, so you can solve the problem in a proper way. Now come to the next problem. Okay, the next problem is a very good problem in which there is a variation of specific heat at a constant pressure is given with respect to temperature. So how to use this type of the problem? So I have selected this problem in which it is given that the heat capacity at constant pressure of a certain system is a function of temperature only and may be expressed as Cp is equal to 2.093 plus 41.87 divided by T plus 100 joule per degree centigrade. So this is the variation of a specific heat at constant pressure with respect to temperature. So okay, so first we'll write this variation. The variation of Cp is given as 2.093 plus 41.87 upon T plus 100. 2.093 plus 41.87 upon T plus 100. This much of joule per degree centigrade. This is the variation of Cp with respect to temperature is given, where T is temperature of the system in degree centigrade. The system is heated while it is maintained at a pressure of 1 atmosphere. So the pressure remains constant until its volume increases from 200 centimeter cube to 2400 centimeter cube. Okay. The system is heated at a constant pressure and the volume of the system has been increased from 2000 centimeter cube to 2400 centimeter cube, while in this time the temperature also increases from 0 degree centigrade to 100 degree centigrade. So now let us first write this thing. The initial temperature T1 is given as 0 degree centigrade, while final temperature, let it be T2, is equal to 100 degree centigrade. In the meantime, the initial volume is given as 2000 centimeter cube. This becomes 2000 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter cube, or this is equal to 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter cube. This is the initial volume, and final volume, let it be V2, that becomes 2400 centimeter cube. This becomes 2400 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter cube. So this becomes 2.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter cube. This is the final volume. So initial volume and final volume has been given, keeping the pressure remains constant. Keeping pressure remains constant. And what is that pressure? That pressure is nothing but it is 1 bar. I think it is 1 bar, 1 atmospheric. Okay, so this is the entire system. Find the magnitude of the heat interaction, we have to calculate it, and how much internal energy the system increases. Okay. Since the pressure remains constant, then we know then at isobaric pressures what is the amount of heat transfer. The heat transfer is nothing but it is Cp delta T. So at isobaric process, heat transfer Q is nothing but it is integration of Cp dt. So, and the Cp value, that is the variation with respect to temperature, has been given. So we can use is Q is equal to, that is heat transfer is integration from T1 temperature initial to temperature final. Cp is 2.093 plus 41.87 upon T plus 100 dt. So this value comes out to be 2.093 once we calculate it. So this is T2 minus T1 plus 41.87 ln T2 plus 100 upon T1 plus 100. This is the basic integration, and I hope you people know how to integrate this factor and take the limit. So we have integrated it and take the limit, and now put the value of T1 and T2. So when you put T1 is equal to 0 and T2 is equal to 100, so the amount of heat transfer will become, once you calculate it, so this becomes 238.32 joule. 238.32 joule. So this is the amount of heat that has been transferred. Okay. At the same time, the piston sweeps from 2000 centimeter cube to 2400 centimeter cube, so at a constant pressure. So work transfer. So work transfer W, this nothing but it is P delta V. So what is the P? 1 bar, that is 10 raised to the power 5, and what is delta V? 2.4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 minus 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3, this much amount of joule. So this comes to be 0.4 into 10 raised to the power 2, that comes to be 40 joule. So how much work is been done? So work transfer is 40 joule. Okay, so what is the change in internal energy? This change in internal energy is nothing but it is Q minus W. Put the value of Q and W, you will get the answer. How much of the internal energy of the system will change when the variation of Cp is given. Okay, when the variation of Cp is given. So this comes to be 197.79 joule. You just put the values and get the answer. 1 atmosphere, maybe I have taken it as a 1 joule, 1 into 10 raised to the power 5, so it comes to be 40. Maybe some books have taken it 1.013 bar, so there will be some variation in this work done. So you just keep it as a 1 bar and get the answer. It's an easy calculation.